Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. And I'm so excited to welcome award-winning voiceover artist, really, Royal Samuelson to the show. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We have heard your voice for decades. It's film, television shows, commercials, radio programming. Where did this voice journey begin for you?
Oh boy, that's a great question. I think I had a recording cassette tape back in the day, and I tried to imitate my cousin's New York accent. And I just was entertaining myself. That's how I think it started.
Wow.
That's
and
so
you went,
cool.
my voice, I've got something here. Like, how did that, epiphany
Did it
happen for
click?
you?
Did this a click and you're like, you know what, I think I'm pretty okay at this. I could probably do this.
The opposite. I heard myself and I'm like, who is that voice? Because you hear yourself from inside your own body, and then, it's like you hear your voicemail greeting. It's like, who is that person? That's not me. And I just did that. So there's a little disconnect between what you're putting out there and what everyone else is familiar with and what you hear inside your own body.
Oh my goodness, you couldn't have said that better. I remember hating my voice so much that I could never listen to it ever. I mean, even one syllable would drive me up the wall. It was just so disturbing to me that was what I sounded like. Mm-hmm. Have you grown more and more comfortable with it, with time and with experience? And
it's I do a lot of workouts. Just like people go to the gym, I go to voiceover workouts, or I get coaching, or there's mentors or whatever. There's a job at Disney for a theme park attraction that I used to work at. And it had a microphone, and I'd introduce all the animatronic dolls that are doing their Wizard of Oz thing, or I have to say it's kind of topical with Mary Poppins Returns coming out. Mary Poppins is up there and dancing. And I'd say, oh, they're introducing everyone, and it was on mic. And everyone was watching everything else. So it's like my goal was to tell the story of this ride without getting in the way of the story.
Wow. So tell us about some of the big projects that you've worked on.
Mostly I'm working on audio description, which is a special kind of audio track that goes on top of movies and TV shows. I'm on NCIS and Criminal Minds, and also a Lethal Weapon TV show, along with a bunch of TV and movies too.
A lot of people don't understand what it means to be a voice artist or voiceover actor. What is that like for you? What is a day in your life?
That's a great question. It is constantly changing. There's certain schedules. I'm on a few shows which are scheduled usually pretty much every week during the TV season. But when auditions come in, they're usually due right away. So if I'm in my car, I pull over. I've got a little portable mic that I record in. Sometimes I have other auditions where I have to go somewhere. So I do my best to try to plan my day, and then things change.
So we have a little clip rolling right now. Could you describe what's happening?
Sure. It's literally description narration, which is kind of fun. I'm kind of getting meta here. This is just a sample clip. I didn't work on this film, but it's showing what descriptive narration is. So an audience member or a viewer who's blind or low vision can hear what's happening that other people are seeing.
oh wow, that's incredible.
Oh, I see.
So what have you learned sort of about manipulating and using the voice as an instrument that the rest of us could use? Because I think we're always interested in tips and tricks to be more effective communicators or speakers.
One of the things that I've learned specifically about audio description is that the spotlight feels like it's on me. There's a microphone pointed right at me, but it's not about me. The spotlight's on the story.
Wow.
It's all about what's happening. And I remember doing a voiceover workout with produced scripts. Excuse me, I keep saying audio. Everything's audio with me. We would read 25 pages of a script, and it was for writers to work on their scripts. And I remember the first time I came up and I tried it, and I'm like, okay, here I go. I'm gonna do this voice, and I'm gonna do this character, and make sure everything comes out. And then afterward, the feedback was, oh, I really like that scene when this thing happened, and I'm wondering if maybe that could be put in a different place, and I'm like, oh, the focus is on the story. And then everything changed. It's like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna contribute to this. I'm a part of this. It's not all about me. And for some reason, that kind of opened up something that I hadn't seen before.
That took the pressure off as well, right?
The pressure was now collaborative. It was now like, oh, we're in a team together to work together. So the pressure was like, we gotta do our best job to do this, and let's feed this thing instead of, hey, look at me.
Is there anything, obviously audio has become so big in the world with podcasts and all kinds of things. Is there anything that you've seen coming out in the industry that you're like, oh, that's going to be interesting for voice?
That's a great question. With podcasts and even audiobooks, all these formats, we have it in our pocket. It's so easy access. I'm thinking with with our Los Angeles traffic, everyone's commuting. So audio description kind of fits with commuters too. It's like all the content there is it's already there and it's a click or two away.
Well, it's been interesting to see how podcasts have even evolved beyond just having interviews and conversations. They're going into a scripted narrative format.
Yes.
Full circle. It's like going back, to the 1930s.
Yeah, that's true.
Listening to
That's
a
true, guys.
show through the radio. It's
Yeah.
the same thing in the podcast format.
Yeah, and isn't that exciting? It's like it's all about story. I mean, there's so many incredible visual effects throughout in all the movies and TV shows, and there's something about engaging just with hearing.
What have been your favorite projects to date?
I've worked on I got to say, Baby Driver and Get Out are the two features that I really appreciate.
Yeah. What did you love most about those two?
The surprises. It was the way I do my job is I'm given a script and then 2 seconds later they start recording. So it's all live. I have no idea what I'm getting into except for seeing a trailer or something ahead of time. So I'm going along for the ride with the audience. So there's sometimes where I'm, oh whoa, I gotta play that.
Real emotion.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we gotta do some pre-roll and do that take again here.
It's so interesting because then innately you must really have to rely on your intuition and maintain a very strong presence in that. If everything is live and you're required to perform through your voice, you have to be so wholly, fully present to do that.
There's something about this kind of work that gets me in the flow like I've never felt before. So there is a connection, and there's so many things happening. It's not like a juggle, but it is presence. And I have to go on a quick tangent with the meditation retreat that I did. I did a 10-day meditation retreat. It was silent, ironically, but I found that that was a great retreat. But then I had to get back to real life, and in the real life, there's something about taking that time every day just to stop and be fully present. There's so many things. I'm always in the future. I'm always in the past. Being present is something that takes a little bit of work.
You know what's interesting is in mantra, when it's actually considered in spiritual work, some of the highest frequency you can get is to really totally love your own voice, to actually have a mantra that resonates perfectly, because each sound, resonates through eternity, as spiritually say. So finding your voice and finding that love in your voice is such a beautiful practice. So I bet it's been an amazing journey for you.
Oh, it's a beautiful way to hear it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I find it so interesting that someone who makes a living through voice went to a silent meditation. I'm still stuck on that.
It's a little ironic,
What was
yeah.
it like to you to be in complete silence?
It was a roller coaster. There were emotions, there were physical sensations. I was feeling my knees, and there was one time where for an hour or two we didn't move. It was totally still and silent. And we worked our way up. It wasn't like we started and like, okay, let's jump in. But it was a wild ride, and I've done it twice. It's something that really got me into a place of being present. Like I said, I'm still very familiar with going, oh, okay, what am I doing next? And what's next week? And how am I doing that thing? And I was like, no, I'm here. I'm right now sitting on this couch with you three and having a great conversation. So
Through that, what did you learn about the power of your voice?
there's a lot of thoughts that are inside my head that are happening. I'm thinking about things. And I hear that voice. That voice can help me share, it can give me an emotion. But I can also listen to that voice and say, oh, I'm feeling that emotion. Oh, there's that emotion. Oh, that's that emotion. So I can almost talk to it, not like I'm talking to myself, but it's acknowledging it. It's not trying to say, okay, I don't want to feel that right now. But I'm like, oh no, that's a real feeling that's happening right now. I don't know if that...
Absolutely.
No, absolutely.
One of my favorite quotes, and I can imagine maybe it applies to the voiceover as well, is that music is not in the notes, it's in the spaces between notes.
Oh, I like that.
Right? And I feel that that's often very true when it comes to communication. I would imagine with voiceover that the real power is in the space between the words and not necessarily always in the words.
You're right.
As an actor, play it out. Sorry, I had to know. Absolutely. Pregnant pauses everything.
So tell us where people can find you and work with you.
Oh, thanks. I'm on Royce Samuelson for Instagram and Twitter, and Facebook is Royce Samuelson Biz, B-I-Z.
Awesome.
Wow, such a pleasure.
Thanks
so
for having
much.
me.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Roy. Stay tuned. We'll be
Thanks.
back with more. Good morning,
Thanks.
LaLa.